Alright, Beansball Hour, episode 9. We're back for week 4 of the NFL season. And to preview week 5, do Beans picks later on in the show. I know what everybody is going to want to hear me talk about. But I guess I should probably just start with it. 37-20, the final score from Kansas City. The Chiefs embarrassed the Ravens. Lamar throws a pick and gets hurt late in the game. I watched the first half of this game and probably a little bit of the third quarter. I don't remember. I watched, and then I was watching right before Lamar came out because I left to go to work, and then I got to work, and then Lamar was out of the game, and I was like, what the fuck? So whenever Lamar came out is pretty much right when I stopped watching. I never saw any Cooper Rush snaps. And I did plan initially to watch the rest of the game when I got home, no matter how bad the blowout was, and it was bad. But Lamar was out. I was not gonna watch Cooper Rush film. I was not gonna watch more of this defense than I had to. Mahomes was 67% completion, 270 yards, 4 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy, 5 catches, 83 yards. It was bad. Lamar was 14 of 20, 147 yards, a touchdown and a pick, got sacked 3 times. Derrick Henry got only 8 carries. He averaged 5.25 yards a carry, but he only got 8 carries, 42 yards total. And it was an impressive first drive for the Ravens. It was a very impressive first drive. They went right down the field and scored, and I was feeling good. Then the defense managed to hold Kansas City to 3, and we got the ball back, and I was like, all right, this is a chance here. This is an opportunity. Go down, make it 14-3, take control of this game early, and then Lamar throws the pick. And that turned that right around. Zay, 74 receiving yards, 7 catches. Lamar also had a fumble, a lost fumble. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's something about Lamar against the Chiefs. I thought after last year's game in week 1 where we were right down, we were a toe away, Isaiah Likely away, like from potentially winning that game, potentially tying that game, or going for the win. And I thought that after that it was like, okay, it's over. Lamar was really good in that game, and we just couldn't get the win. But I guess not. There's something there whenever he plays the Chiefs. There's an energy. I don't know what it is. A nervousness maybe that he feels against this team. I don't know why it's only this team. And I see people trying to put Buffalo in that conversation, and it's like, that's just not the case. We lost week 1 against Buffalo this year not because of Lamar, but because of coaching and the defense. We lost the divisional game not because of Lamar. Well, I mean, in part because of Lamar, that pick, but in part because all of our receivers were hurt. And even still, there was a chance for us to tie the game at the end, and Mark Andrews just couldn't bring it in. That's just what that was. And then the last game before that we played Buffalo was week 3 or 4 of last year in the regular season, and we beat them 35-10 and outclassed them completely. And nobody talks about that game because they needed to get Josh Allen the MVP last year, and them having a head-to-head matchup and Lamar thoroughly dominating did not fit. It did not fit the narrative of Josh Allen MVP. So we just kind of ignored it. But against Kansas City, I can't deny it. It's there. There's something there. He looks different. He was doing shit that he never does. That pick was a dumb throw. He doesn't throw those anymore. He hasn't thrown those for years. On a first down, he's running backwards and he just heaves it up. Just throw it away. He could have very easily thrown it away without getting called for grounding. So, and you know, this defense is bad. This defense is really bad. Everybody is hurt. Matabike is now out for the year. Van Noy is still out. Marlon Humphrey is now out. The rookie Malachi Starks hasn't been playing much. Who else? There's literally 5 defensive starters are now out. Let me find, I got a list. Roquan Smith is now out. Travis Jones, the defensive tackle, has been out. And I mean, I still don't. We get those guys back. I still don't think the defense is going to be great, but it's going to be better. It's not going to be the worst defense in football. It might only be like the 25th defense in football, but it won't be the worst. I don't know what the solve is. I don't know how we turn it around. Last year it was similar to this. I don't think it was even this bad though last year at the start of the season when the defense was not playing well, it was not moving right. And it got turned around halfway through the season. And I chalked that up to, okay, well, Zach Orr was a first-time coordinator. He was trying to figure things out, and he got there. I talked about this last week. He got there, and turns out he hasn't got there because this defense still sucks. Another thing about this team that is frustrating me are these fucking podcasts. Because Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Van Noy feel comfortable going on a podcast and talking about these games after the fact. That is ridiculous to me. That should never be a part of Baltimore Ravens culture. That's not something we do. It's not acceptable. I don't understand why these guys are so fine doing that. You're getting your ass beat down. You're getting fucking dominated by these teams. And you're going on podcasts to talk about it and doing fucking ad reads for Roman swipes. Like, what the fuck are we doing? This is ridiculous. And Marlon Humphrey, I see a clip of him. He's on there. He's talking about how good his college football predictions record is. It's like, dude, who gives a fuck? You're supposed to be a corner. You're supposed to be a starting corner, and you're playing like dog shit. You know, I'm not saying that he can't enjoy anything outside of the NFL. Can't enjoy anything outside of football. That he's got to be, Baltimore Ravens 100% of the time. But just maybe not on a public platform be worried about other shit. Maybe to the world's view, all you should really be focused on is the Ravens. And then do that other shit in your free time, when no one's watching. But to do it on a podcast, it's just... I think it's ridiculous. And I know that the Ravens of the past, the Ray Lewises, the Ed Reeds, the Siragusa, Haloti Ngata, Terrell Suggs, those guys would not have had this shit. They would have been up these guys' ass, dude. And Roquan's not, Kyle Hamilton is not, and John Harbaugh is definitely fucking not. So, yeah. I don't know. We're 1-3. 1-3, and Lamar's not playing against Houston. So we may go to 1-4, and then Lamar may not play against the Rams. I think the wording was that he's doubtful. Lamar Jackson hamstring, unlikely to play week 5, could miss 2 to 3 weeks. So he's unlikely to play against Houston. He may miss the Rams game, and then after the Rams is our bye. So he should be back for the Bears in week 8. He should be back for the Bears in week 8 unless something goes wrong with his timeline. He should be back for the Bears game in week 8. But if we're 1-5 at that point, then we have to basically run the table. That's just not a spot you want to be in. That's not a spot you want to be in. And it's a very likely spot to be in coming forward. We cannot beat the Rams with Cooper Rush. I'll say that right now. That's a loss. If Cooper Rush is starting that game, we're losing. Houston has not looked good. So a part of me thinks maybe you can beat Houston with Cooper Rush. But then I remember that this Houston offense that's been struggling and that has not been able to score at all now gets to play this Ravens defense. So they're probably going to be able to score pretty quickly and pretty easily. And I don't think Cooper Rush is going to be able to match that. So we're staring 1-5 down the barrel right now. It's not looking good. And so yeah, I could get on here and I could talk about how much we need to fire John Harbaugh and we need to move on and it's time for a new era and all that stuff. But I've done it before. I can't do it again. Not right now. We're 1-3. I feel like shit. I thought this may be the year. And as time keeps passing, I realize more and more that 2023 was the year. Mike McDonald, the best defense in football, Lamar Jackson. We didn't have Derrick Henry, but it was still the best running game in football with Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell and Lamar. And that was the year. That was unequivocally the year. First round bye, hosting the AFC Championship game, and just mistakes, couldn't get it done. Mistakes, doing dumb shit, throwing into triple coverage, fumbling the ball at the 1-yard line. That defense held the Chiefs to 17. If going into that game you would have told me, hey, the Chiefs are going to only score 17 points, I'd be like, fucking, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. But no, we could only muster 10 back. So that was the year, I think. And I'm starting to grow concerned that there may not be another one in the future. Harbaugh or not. So I'm dejected. I'm just dejected at this point. I'm no longer angry. I was angry on Sunday. I was angry on Monday. I'm no longer angry. I'm dejected. One thing that is making me pretty damn happy, though. Seattle Seahawks. Mike Macdonald's new team. Mike Macdonald's real team. 23-20 over Arizona on Thursday night. A game that we should not have had to go down to the wire. We controlled this football game the whole way. And then I felt the shift. We had a drive. Let me see if I can find it in here in the drive summary. Yeah. It's 17-3. They punt us the ball. We get the ball at the 13-yard line. 3 plays, 0 yards, a minute 36. The crowd got into it. And the Cardinals defense was playing awesome all game. They were really good. And that defense, they brought the crowd into it. And I remember watching after that drive and being like, okay, if they're gonna do something here, this is when they're gonna do it. Like that was scary because the crowd was getting back into it. Then they go down and get a field goal. And that whole drive, I'm thinking, oh my God, they're gonna score. They're gonna turn the tide on us here. And then Witherspoon and Job get into the backfield and sack Kyler Murray for a 7-yard loss on a 1st and 10. and that kind of stalls the drive. They were already in field goal range, so they got 3. So I'm like, okay, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, go down, get points, and it'll be wraps. And then we do that. 14 plays, 7 minutes, 53 yards, get a field goal, and I'm like, all right, we're good. We're good. We've switched the momentum back, or we've halted their momentum. We give them the ball back, and then out of nowhere, 8 plays, 73 yards, in 3 minutes, 43 seconds, the Cardinals get back down and score. Kyler Murray runs for 29 to really kickstart the drive, and then Woolen gets called for pass interference. I mean, Woolen, man, now there's talks of trades, of is he going to be traded, is he going to be moved? We'll see what that does, but, I mean, the guy, he's been really bad this year. I've seen none of the good Tariq Woolen yet this year. None of it. It's all been bad. So they score 20-13. Seattle goes down 43 yards, 7 plays. Gets in field goal range. 53-yard kick is no good. And I'm watching this game after the fact, after it's already happened. I didn't see the score, but I'm watching it after it happened, and I'm watching the lineup for this kick up 7, knowing that if we make it, it's over. That they're not going to have enough time, and that if we don't, that they're building momentum on offense because they've now scored on 2 straight possessions. And I'm just like, this kick's not going to go in. I just knew it. I had a feeling. Sometimes when you're watching games, you just get a feeling. You know something's about to happen before it happens, and I knew he was going to miss that kick. And it goes up, and he missed the kick. And it's still a 7-point game. The Cardinals go back down and score a touchdown. 2 minutes, 48 seconds, 12 plays. Murray, just a great drive by him. A great drive by him to get them all the way down the field. He was poised. He was confident. 4th and 4. Wilson, this guy Wilson, whoever the fuck this guy is, just a ridiculous one-handed catch. The game should have been over at that point, but this guy somehow catches it on the run, gets the first down. They score the touchdown, tied the game, and there's 28 seconds left for Sam Darnold to get in field goal range again. From the 40-yard line, we start this possession because the Cardinals kickoff, they fuck up the kickoff. With these new kickoff rules, if the ball lands in the field of play, it has to land either in the landing zone, which is the 20-yard line and back, or the end zone. If it lands in the 20-yard line and back and then bounces into the end zone, it's a touchback to the 20. If it lands into the end zone, it's a touchback to the 20. Or if it lands out of the back of the end zone, it's a touchback to the 35. If it lands in the landing zone and then bounces into the end zone, it's a touchback to the 20. And if it lands before the landing zone, it's basically the same thing as the penalty. It's basically the same penalty as when you kick it out of bounds. If you kick it out of bounds, for years it's been this way still. You kick it out of bounds, out of play, they put the ball at the 40. So if it lands before the landing zone, they just treat it like that and they put the ball at the 40. So they kick the ball and it lands at like the 21, just before the landing zone. And now we get the ball at the 40, and we don't need much. And Darnold fires a 22-yard pass to JSN. 22-yard pass to JSN. And it was a great throw. It was like back shoulder. JSN goes up for it. It was a great throw. And that was all we needed, really. Gets it to the 40. Charbonnet runs for 4 yards up the middle. Seattle takes a timeout with 4 seconds left. Myers comes on from 52, 1 yard shorter than the distance he missed, but this time he makes it. 23-20. Darnold 18-26, 242 yards and a touchdown. Walker 19 attempts, 81 yards. JSN was very quiet for most of the game. The first half, I don't know if he had any catches. He had like one. It was like a very quiet JSN game. And then late four catches, 79 yards. He still comes out with a great game. Elijah Arroyo had a really nice play where he gets a jump ball. Darnold just puts it up in the air on the sideline, gets a jump ball over a smaller corner. That was impressive. I really liked seeing that. 2 catches, 44 yards for him. Barner, 3 catches, 32 yards and a touchdown. Walker had 1 reception for 29 yards. Cooper Kupp, 4 catches, 26 yards. I just thought it was a great game by this team. 2 picks. Kobe Bryant, that was bad. The Kyler Murray throws it right to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is returning it. And Tyrese Knight gets like pushed into him, and Kobe fumbles the ball, and the Cardinals get it right back. So we got a pick, and then we just give it right back to him. So that was really bad. That was not good. Ernest Jones gets another pick later, where Marvin Harrison Jr. is bobbling the ball. It's like an easy catch. It's right on his hands, and he bobbles it like twice, and Ernest just takes it out of the air and runs 30 yards back. That was another time where it was like, okay, this game is over. Spoon, 9 total tackles, including half a sack. Spoon, man, it was good to have him back. He was very valuable out there. It's good to have one of your best players back. You know what I mean? That's always fun. Kyler threw 41 times, 27 of 41, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and got sacked 6 times. This defense was all over that Cardinal backfield today. Rushing, Kyler led them in rushing with 5 attempts for 41 yards, but one of them was a 29-yard run, so that makes up the most of his total there. The run game for the Cardinals did not get going at all. They only had 89 yards rushing. The leading receiver was Marvin Harrison Jr. with 66 yards on 10 targets, 6 catches. McBride had 7 catches for 52 yards. Greg Dortch, shout out Colin, 4 catches, 35 yards. I did not know who Greg Dortch was, and then Colin fucking, probably like 5 years ago, and I was like, watch out for Greg Dortch, that's my guy. Greg Dortch. Now every time I see Greg Dortch, I think of fucking Colin, so shout out. The Arizona defense, they did really pick it up in the second half. I mean, the Seahawks offense puts up 14 in the first half, field goal in the first drive, and then that was really, no more touchdowns after that. They locked down. They're a good defense. They're a really good defense. But, once again, Darnold making the plays that he needs to make, finding these playmakers, finding his guys. He's in rhythm. He's focused. Darnold, I think, has been really good all year. I was, after the Niners game, a lot of people were like, Geno was better. Darnold, he didn't look that good. And I'm watching that game, and I'm going, I kind of liked how Darnold looked. And the 3 games since, I've really liked how Darnold looked. And I feel very confident about him going forward. I woke up at 6:30 or 6 in the morning to watch Vikings Steelers in fucking Ireland. But I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep at halftime because this game was fucking boring at halftime. This game sucked, dude. At halftime, this game was 14-6. And I didn't feel like either of these teams looked good. A blocked field goal. Vikings are throwing picks. It's Carson Wentz out there. Of course I wake up and the Vikings came all the way back. Instead of 21-6, it ended up 24-21. Pittsburgh does win. But yeah, I fell asleep because this game was fucking boring. And I don't know why I wake up for these 6 o'clock games. Every year I wake up for at least the first one. Every year, the first one of these games of the season, I always wake up for. It's like a tradition to start off the international schedule. But if the game sucks, yeah, I'm probably gonna fall back asleep because this shit was not worth. It was not worth getting up for, especially on a day that I had stuff to do. So I went to sleep. Carson Wentz 30 for 46, 350, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Aaron Rodgers 18 of 22. Excuse me, 18 of 22, 200 yards, a touchdown, no picks. 80% on his completions. Kenneth Gainwell, 19 attempts, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. I got nothing else to say. That game was boring. Of what I watched, that game was boring. Falcons and Commanders, my boys. Michael Penix, he got back on track. Let's see here. 20 of 26, 313 yards, 77 completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Bijan Robinson, 17 attempts, 75 yards. I watched some of this game. I'm not going to lie. I think I watched all of that game. I think that's the game I was mainly focused on. But at this point, I do not remember details. I need to start taking notes because I'm pretty sure I watched this whole game. And I'm kind of like, I don't remember any of it. So that's not good. So I can't really talk about it. The Falcons looked good. Michael Penix was good. I do remember that. And it was cool to see Marcus Mariota out there starting again. That's kind of it. And then I already talked about the Ravens. Talk about Geno throwing 3 picks real quick. That sucks. That's bad. That's a bad, very bad sign. Ginty was awesome. 21 attempts, to a touchdown, and 138 yards. I was playing against Ginty in fantasy, and it was looking real good for me until Ginty started playing, and I was like, oh shit, I might be fucked. Ended up pulling out the win, though, so shout out. Geno, 3 picks. It's just not looking good. It's really not looking good. That's my guy, but he's really fucking up. It's not going well for him at all. I feel bad. I feel bad for my boy Tave because I was telling him, he's a Raiders fan. I was telling him before the season, I was like, y'all gonna be all right. Like Pete Carroll, he's got his flaws, but he's probably good for about 8 wins, 9 wins. You're gonna be in the playoff mix. Geno's good. He's not gonna play good on prime time. He's not gonna play well against good teams, but he'll be good enough against the teams that you're supposed to beat that it'll probably be a struggle, and you should probably win by more, but you're gonna end up winning. And it has not been the case. And he's like, Tavian, he's distraught. He hates this fucking team. He's pissed at Geno. I can't blame him. He was telling me, he was like, why didn't you warn me more? Why'd you let me believe? And I was like, it's because I believe too. I thought this team was going to be good. I picked them to make the playoffs. I didn't think Geno was going to be this bad. And yeah, it's been real bad. Brock Purdy came back for the Niners, which I think I said in last pod. I was like, there's no way he'll be back yet. I was like, there's no way. I was like, I don't know who's starting this game, but I know it's not going to be Brock Purdy because there's no way. And it turns out it was Brock Purdy. Jags still won, though, because I remember saying that would definitely impact my pick. I was like, if Brock Purdy was starting, I'd probably pick the Niners. And Brock Purdy started, and I would not have picked, but I picked the Jags, and I'm not, because I didn't do that in the middle shit. I didn't say, well, if Brock starts, I pick the Niners, but if he doesn't, I pick the Jags. I didn't do that. I went all in on the Jags, and the Prince got it done for me. Shout out. 21 of 31, 174 yards, and a touchdown for him. Brock, 22 of 38, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. One thing I'm noticing in these games, Purdy 38 attempts, they lose. Kyler, 41 attempts, they lose. Carson Wentz, 38 attempts, they lose. A lot of attempts for these losing quarterbacks. That's something to keep note of. Something to keep note of. Once you get into those high 30s, low 40s, it's kind of like that's a lot. That is really a lot. So, but the Jags got it done. Shout out. Fuck the Niners. They're no longer undefeated. That makes me happy. And then I did watch Sunday Night Football. Green Bay and Dallas tie 40-40. How in the fuck did they tie 40-40? This game was nuts. Jordan Love, 337 yards, 72 completion percentage, 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 22 attempts, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 71 receiving yards on 4 receptions for him as well. Dak, 77 completions, 77 completion percentage, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 20 attempts, 85 yards, and a touchdown. And George Pickens, on my fantasy team. Let's go. He's been on the bench for a while, but I started him this week. 134 yards, 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. Thank God I started him, or I probably would have lost. This Dallas offense is really good, man. This Dallas offense is really, really good. And they did it without CeeDee Lamb, because that's been something that we've been seeing for the last couple of years. It's like, well, Dak is really good, but if they don't have CeeDee Lamb out there, this offense just doesn't work. And it looked like that last week when they didn't have him. It was like, geez, they just can't get anything going. And this week they got it going without CeeDee Lamb. And Pickens is a big part of that. They looked really good. They look explosive. And their running game is actually good. And I didn't think it was going to be good. That's kind of the reason I was out on Dallas as much as I was, because I was like, they're really CD and Dak reliant. They don't have a run game, and their defense is not good. But they have a run game. So when you have an offense this explosive, you can win games. You can make the playoffs like this. I'm not saying I don't think they're going to, but you can. I mean, Cincinnati didn't last year, but they could have. They were like they were 9-8 and Denver was 10-7. They were a game away. You can definitely make the playoffs like this. And Dak is looking back like the 2023 MVP candidate Dak. Javonte Williams has just been awesome. And their receivers, Pickens, Tolbert, Ferguson, the tight end, Turpin. They get CD back, man. This is a dangerous, dangerous offense. And they put up 40 against the Packers defense that's supposed to be like all-world defense. So, fuck. Excuse me. So, yeah, 40-40, a fucking tie. Jordan Love almost botched the game, and they got a loss. I think about what goes into the thought process behind this decision is because the Packers have the ball in the red zone with 1 second on the clock. The clock is stopped. There's 1 second on the clock. They have time for one play. They can either go for the win or take the tie. I wonder I wonder if there was any type of thought about going for the win and saying we're leaving here with this, or because I know there's some coaches that would have just gone for the win. Harbaugh, both of them probably would have gone for the win. There's some of those aggressive ass coaches that would have been like, all right, we're either leaving here with everything or we're leaving here with nothing. And LaFleur didn't want to do that. LaFleur wanted to go for the tie. I wonder what went into that thought process. I wonder if there was any thought process for him. I wonder if it was obvious the whole time, like, we'll take the tie if we can get it. Or if there was any thought of, like, in that moment, if there was any thought of, fucking, should we just bring out our best play and go for the win here? So, that's an interesting thought experiment. And I also started to watch the Dolphins and the Jets 27-21 Miami, but I got bored and I didn't feel like watching the rest of the game. Tyreek Hill got hurt very gruesomely. His entire knee's fucking shredded. That's scary. That's bad. Hopefully he's able to come back at some point. Obviously it's not going to be this year. And the way people are talking about it and the timeline, it may not even be next year, but maybe the year after. So hopefully, hope the best for Tyreek Hill, cause yeah, that's scary. Like they were like all of his ligaments and his knee are fucked. They're all fucked. Everything's fucked. ACL, MCL, PCL, whatever, LCL, whatever the fuck is in there. I don't even know. They're all fucked. So hope the best for Tyreek. And just like I said last week when I was trying to pick this game, whichever team I picked was going to lose, and the Jets fucking lost. Barely. I don't know why I picked the Jets. If I would have known Miami was going to be wearing those sweet-ass uniforms, I'd have picked Miami. Those unis are fucking nice, dude. They're like the black with the blue highlights. Those were fucking tough. I loved those jerseys. If Miami had any players that were any type of cool, I guess Tyreek, I could get a Tyreek jersey. But I was going to say, if Miami had anybody I really fucked with, I'd buy one of them. But, I will not, probably. Because I just spent fucking $300 on... They dropped the NBA Finals jersey patches again. They didn't have them for a while. When the last time I went to buy one, they didn't have the swingmans. They didn't have the good ones. They only had the fucking replicas. So I had to buy a replica SGA Final Patch jersey. But not only did they put them back up, but they put them on sale. They were $100 instead of $150. So you know me, I had to buy 3 of them. I had to buy another SGA. I had to buy a Jalen Williams, and I had to buy a Chet. So I just spent fucking $350 on jerseys. So I will not be buying any more jerseys anytime soon, and definitely not a fucking Miami Dolphins Tyreek Hill. Beans picks. Pretty good week. Pretty good week, I'd say. 10 and okay, yeah, that is weird because of the pack. 10 5 and 1. Is that how I should score it? Should I put it as a tie or should I put it as a loss because they didn't win? Should I be 10 and 6 or 10 5 and 1? Then I have to have a tie on my record for the rest of the year. But it's what happened. I don't know. I'm going to leave it at 10 5 and 1 right now, and then I'll decide later. 28 18 and 1 is the total record for the year. A very good week after we went 6 and 10 last week, and it was bad. Now we're pretty good week. I picked the Seahawks, they won, Steelers won, Falcons won, Tampa Bay lost. That's another game I watched too, is Tampa Philly, and I don't remember anything about it. Other than A.J. Brown not getting the ball at all, and Tampa almost coming back from down again, and almost having another Baker game-winning drive. I do remember that part. I didn't talk about that game at all, damn. Buffalo, I picked them, they won, that's 4. Detroit, they won 5. Houston, 6. New England, 7. I picked the Chargers, who lost to the fucking Colts. Rams won, that's 7. Jags won, that's 8. Oh, fuck, did I miscount? Did I only win 9 games? Denver won, that's 9. That's only... Seahawks, Steelers, Falcons, Buffalo, Detroit, Houston, New England, Rams, Jags. Jags. I didn't say the Jags. Jags and Denver. My losers were Tampa, Chargers, Baltimore, the Raiders, Packers, and Jets. So I guess the Packers is a tie. 28 18 and 1. As we move on to week number 5. Let me pull up the week 5 schedule here, because it's not up right now. Fuck. Alright, week 5. Thursday night football tomorrow night. NFC West showdown again. Niners and Rams. I think this is pretty easy for me. I think the Rams are the better football team between the two, and I really fucking hate the Niners a lot. I hate the Rams too, but I hate the Niners significantly more. I'm going with the Rams. They're the home team. They're the better team. I think they win. Minnesota, Cleveland from fucking London. Minnesota's staying over. Oh shit. Oh shit. Dropped my headset. Minnesota's staying over in fucking in Europe. They're going from Ireland to London back-to-back weeks. Cleveland is expecting to start fucking Dylan Gabriel over Joe Flacco. That being said, I'm definitely taking the Vikings. I do not think Dylan Gabriel is good. And I don't know. Carson Wentz versus Dylan Gabriel. Should I wake up at 6 in the fucking morning for this game? Probably not. Am I going to? Probably. I'm picking the Vikings. The Browns stink. They can't move the ball. Carson Wentz is not good, but he's better than whoever the fucking Browns have. Especially if it's not Joe fucking Flacco. Why are they benching my guy? That's fucked up. Dallas at the Jets. Easy. Give me Dallas. I buy into this offense. I think that they can win in a shootout against the Jets. Houston at Baltimore with Cooper Rush starting. You know what, you guys? I'm going to live by the sword and I'm going to die by the fucking sword. I'm picking the Ravens. I'm picking the fucking Ravens to win every week, no matter what. Ravens and Seahawks, I'm picking them every week. I don't care. Yeah, I want to have a good record, but you know what else I want? I want wins for my teams, okay? So I'm going to fucking will them into existence, and if that means it fucks up my record at the end of the year, then so be it. Give me Baltimore. Give me Cooper Rush, baby. Give me fucking Cooper Rush. Miami at Carolina, and yet another ass off for Miami. Jeez, man, why did they get these shitty teams playing each other, man? This is fucked up. In the game that nobody will watch unless you are from Miami or Carolina. The 1-3 Dolphins, the 1-3 Panthers. I'll take Miami by default. Because I think Miami at least has some good things going on. Carolina, I don't think does. I'll take Miami. Vegas at the Colts. I've picked Vegas to win every week. I don't buy the Colts. I don't think they're that good. But they almost beat the Rams. They were in a very good game, close game against the Rams. I can't do it again. I can't pick the Raiders again. I'm going with the Colts. I just can't. They keep fucking disappointing me, man. They keep losing these games. And you know what? I picked the Colts, and the Raiders are probably going to go in there and beat them now. And you know what? I'm good with that. I can live with that. The 1-3, Jesus, man. The 1-3 Giants versus the 0-4 Saints. Just ass. This is a bad slate this week. It looks like, man. Just ass after ass after ass. But I'm picking the Giants, obviously, because you guys know I picked the Saints to go winless this year. I don't think they're going to win any football games. I think they're going to be 0-17. So I'm picking the Giants. The 4-0 Eagles hosting the 2-2 Broncos. That's an interesting game. Interconference, you don't really see that matchup very often. I completely neglected to talk about Denver beating up Cincinnati on Monday night because who gives a fuck? I did not even consider watching that game. Philly at home. They're not rolling per se, but they're winning. So I'm going to pick the Eagles because, of course, I am. In a game that's going to feature the greatest uniform matchup of all time, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Seattle Seahawks. Tampa will be wearing their throwback cream style white jerseys, and Seattle will be wearing the royal blue throwbacks. As both teams actually are celebrating their 50th season. They came into the league in the same year, 1976, I do believe. Let me make sure that's the right year. Yeah, 1976. Tampa Bay joined as an expansion franchise along with Seattle. Both teams celebrating their 50th anniversaries or their 50th seasons, wearing their throwback jerseys from their inaugural seasons against each other. That's gonna be an incredible jersey matchup. It'll be one for the ages. Two really good teams. You guys know how much I love Tampa, but you also know what I just said. How I'm picking the Seahawks and the Ravens to win every week, and I am picking the Seahawks to win this game. Not because I think, not because I'm picking them the bias pick. I actually think we can win this football game. The way this defense has been playing, I think we can get into the Baker Mayfield to the backfield to the Baker Mayfield. I'm fucking stupid. I think we can get into the backfield. I think we can stop their run game and slow them down. And the offense has to do just enough. And they've been doing that for the last few weeks. At home, I think we need to get our home rhythm back. And we can do that in this game. So I'm picking Seattle. 0-4 Titans at the 2-2 Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. Jeez, the Titans suck. Shout out Tyler Lockett, but man, y'all are ass. 2-2 Commanders at the 3-1 Chargers. Jaden Daniels, I think he's on track to play, but I'm not sure. So, I mean, either way, I should probably pick the Chargers here because I'm not one that buys the Commanders even with Jaden Daniels as a playoff team this year. I didn't have him in. I'm gonna pick the Command. I'm gonna pick the Chargers. Damn, my brain is telling me pick the Commanders. Fuck it, I'm gonna pick the Commanders. Because I'm looking at this game and I have a feeling. This is one of those I have a feeling games. On the road, Jaden Daniels is back. I have a feeling. My brain's telling me pick the Commanders. And I was about to go against it and pick the Chargers. My brain's telling me pick the Chargers. My heart's telling me pick the Commanders. I should probably listen to my head, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pick the Commanders. 3-1 Detroit at 2-2 Cincinnati. Easy. Give me the fucking Lions. Detroit. They're really good still, as, everybody should have known after week 1, but after week 1, everybody was like, oh, Ben Johnson, they stink. No, they're still really fucking good. And in a very boring, very lame Sunday Night Football matchup, the Patriots at the Bills. Oh my God. Who wants to fucking watch this game? I know I don't. I know I don't want to hear Chris Collinsworth fucking cream on Josh Allen all night. And I know I don't want to watch the Patriots fucking struggle to score. Because they only have like one good receiver. And no running backs. God, I hate the Bills. I hate the Bills and I hate the Chiefs. And I hate that I have to hate them because they're fucking... I hate them for reasons... I just, they keep beating the fucking Ravens. And everybody loves them and everybody wants to shit on the Ravens. Nobody wants to love the Ravens like they fucking love them. And it hurts. And I hate them. And they keep knocking us out of the playoffs and I fucking hate them. That being said, the Bills are going to win the game. Monday, and fucking here we go. The next team, the other team that I hate. Monday Night Football, Chiefs at Jags. There's only one Monday night game this week, thankfully, because I fucking hate when they double up. That shit's so dumb. It puts less of an emphasis on both games. So, fucking Chiefs, Jags. Jags at home. The Chiefs got back on track. I don't fucking know. Is the Chiefs offense good? Or did they just play the Ravens? Did Xavier Worthy really change that team that much? Or did they just play the shittiest defense of all time? I don't fucking know. I don't know if the Jags defense is even any good. I haven't watched a single second of Jags football this year. I'm not going to fucking lie and act like I have. But they're 3-1. And Trevor, I don't think Trevor's numbers have been very good. But I'd feel like a really fucking big idiot if I picked the Jags and I picked Trevor Lawrence over Pat Mahomes. I just feel really dumb. So I'm gonna go with the fucking Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the fucking Chiefs, man. God damn it. Week 5. Oh, we have teams on bye now too, so we don't have 16 games. We only have 14 games. The Falcons, Bears, and Packers are all on byes. So I have the Rams over the Niners, Minnesota over Cleveland, Dallas over the Jets, the Ravens over Houston, Miami over Carolina, the Colts over the Raiders, the Giants over the Saints, Philly over Denver, Seattle over Tampa Bay, Arizona over Tennessee, Washington over the Chargers, Detroit over Cincinnati, Buffalo beats New England on Sunday night, and Kansas City beats Jacksonville on Monday night. Those are my picks for the 14 games coming up this NFL week, week 5, and that's it for the pod. That is this week's episode, Beans Ball Hour. Episode 9, I said it earlier in the show, and I already forgot what episode it is. I think it's episode 9. Yeah. We're almost at episode 10, boys. Also, NBA season, it's coming back up. We're almost there already. We're coming up on the start of the season. So, be looking out. Expect very soon some NBA stuff, NBA previews. I'll probably do an episode where I predict the standings, I predict the awards, and then I predict, who's going to win the championship. Even though you guys already all know who I'm going to pick to win the fucking championship. It should be pretty fucking simple. You shouldn't have to think about that. But in case you're living under a rock and you haven't seen the other uploads here on my channel, just, stay tuned. It's going to be fun anyways. I'm going to make it fun. This is the NBA season we're talking about. That'll be coming soon. I'm kind of, I'm going over things now, trying to figure out who I'm going to pick for what and all that. So that is the week 4 recap and week 5 preview. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it this far, we're 52 minutes in. And we will be back next week. I don't think that NBA pod will be out in the next week. It'll probably be after that at some point. So we'll be back next week with our weekly NFL show. And once the NBA season starts, I'll probably try to go to 2 pods a week. 1 basketball, 1 football. But, through the NBA regular season, sometimes there's down weeks, sometimes there's time where there's just nothing going on. So the NBA might not be weekly during NFL season. That might just have to be like a every couple week thing during NFL season. And then once the NFL season ends and we get into February around All-Star break, post All-Star break, it'll probably be a weekly NBA show. But we'll see. We got time. It's October 1 today. I didn't say that at the start of the pod, did I? October 1, 2025, 12:05 p.m. as I'm finishing Pacific. So, we'll see. I'm getting pumped. I'm getting pumped for the NBA season. I'm getting pumped to go down to OKC for ring night. I'm getting excited here, boys. I'm getting fucking pumped. But that's it. That's the show. Thank you for... I've fucked up the intro 3 times already. That's the pod. I appreciate you guys. Tune back in next week. Like, comment, subscribe, share the pod. Get the word out. I appreciate you all, and that's it.